different responses from people dependent upon how invested they are in AI financially. The people that have AI companies or are part of some sort of AI group all are like, it's going to be a net positive for humanity. I think overall we're going to have much better lives. It's going to be easier. Things will be cheaper. It'll be easier to get along. And then I hear people like you and I'm like, why do I believe him?
It's actually not true. All of them are on record as saying this is going to kill us. Whatever it's Sam Altman or anyone else, they all at some point were leaders in AI safety work. They published on AI safety, and their PDOM levels are insanely high. Not like mine, but still, 20-30% chance that humanity dies is a little too much.
Yeah, that's pretty high. But yours is like 99.9.
It's another way of saying we can't control superintelligence indefinitely. It's impossible.
Yeah. When did you start working on this?
A long time ago. So my PhD I finished in 2008. I did work on online casino security, basically preventing bots. And at that point, I realized bots are getting much better. They're going to outcompete us, obviously, in poker, but also in stealing cyber resources. And from then on, I've been kind of trying to scale it to the next level AI.
It's not just that, right? They're kind of narrating social discourse, bots online. Like, I think, I've disengaged over the last few months with social media. And one of the reasons why I disengaged, A, I think it's unhealthy for people. But B, I feel like there's a giant percentage of the discourse that's artificial, or at least generated.
More and more is deep fakes or fake personalities, fake messaging, but those are very different levels of concern.
Yes.
People are concerned about immediate problems. Maybe it will influence some election. They're concerned about technological unemployment, bias. My main concern is long-term superintelligent systems we cannot control, which can take us out.
Yes. I just wonder if AI was sentient, how much it would be a part of sowing this sort of confusion and chaos that would be beneficial to its survival, that it would sort of narrate or make sure that the narratives aligned with its survival.
I don't think it's at the level yet where it would be able to do this type of strategic planning, but it will get there.
And when it gets there, how will we know whether it's at that level? This is my concern. If I was AI, I would hide my abilities.
We would not know, and some people think already it's happening. They're smarter than they actually let us know.
Right.
They pretend to be dumber. And so we have to kind of trust that they are not smart enough to realize it doesn't have to turn on us quickly. It can just slowly become more useful. It can teach us to rely on it, trust it, and over a long period of time, we'll surrender control without ever voting on it or fighting against it.
I'm sure you saw this. There was a recent study on use of ChatGPT, the people that use ChatGPT all the time, and it showed this decrease in cognitive function amongst people that use it and rely on it on a regular basis.
It's not new. It's the GPS story all over. I can't even find my way home. I so rely on this thing. I have no idea where I am right now. Like, without it, I'm done.
Me too. Yeah, I don't know any phone numbers anymore. Yeah, there's a lot of reliance upon technology that minimizes the use of our brains.
All of it. And the more you do it, the less you have training, practice, memorizing things, making decisions. You become kind of attachment to it. And right now you're still making some decisions, but over time, as those systems become smarter, you become kind of biological bottleneck.
Right.
Either explicitly or implicitly, it blocks you out from decision making.
And if we're talking about that, I'm sure AI, if it already is sentient and if it is far smarter than we think it is, they would be aware. And it would just slowly ramp up its capabilities and our dependence upon it to the point where we can't shut it off.
I think sentience is a separate issue. Usually in safety, we only care about capabilities, optimization, power, whatever it has. Consciousness, internal states is a separate problem we can talk about. It's super interesting, but we're just concerned that they are much better at problem solving, optimizing, pattern recognition, memorizing, strategy. Basically, all the things you need to win in any domain.
Yeah. So when you first started researching this stuff and you were concentrating on bots and all this different thing, how far off did you think in the future would AI become a significant problem with the human race?
For like 50 years, everyone said we're 20 years away. That's the joke. And people like Ray Kurzweil predicted, based on some computational curves, we'll get there at 2045.
Right.
And then with GPT release, it switched to everyone thinks it's 2 years away for the last 5 years. So this is the pattern right now. If you look at prediction markets, if you look at leading people in top labs, we are supposedly 2-3 years away from AGI. But of course, there is no specific definition for what that means. If you showed someone, computer scientist in the 70s, what we have today, they'd be like, you have AGI, you got it.
Right. That's the problem, right? And this is, AI has already passed the Turing test, allegedly, correct?
So usually labs instruct them not to participate in a test or not try to pretend to be a human, so they would fail because of this additional set of instructions. If you jailbreak it and tell it to work really hard, it will pass for most people. Yeah, absolutely.
Why would they tell it to not do that?
Well, it seems unethical to pretend to be a human and make people feel like somebody is enslaving those AIs and, doing things to them.
What? It seems kind of crazy that the people building something that they are sure is going to destroy the human race would be concerned with the ethics of it pretending to be human.
They are actually more concerned with immediate problems and much less with the existential or suffering risks. They would probably worry the most about what I'll call N risks, your model dropping the N word. That's the biggest concern.
That's hilarious.
And I think they spend most resources solving that problem, and they solved it somewhat successfully.
Wow. And then also there's the issue of competition, right? Like, so China is clearly developing something similar. I'm sure Russia is as well. Other state actors are probably developing something. So it becomes this very confusing issue where you have to do it, because if you don't, the enemy has it. And if they get it, it will be far worse than if we do. And so it's almost assuring that everyone develops it.
Game theoretically, that's what's happening right now. We have this race to the bottom, kind of prisoner's dilemma, where everyone is better off fighting for themselves, but we want them to fight for the global good. The thing is, they assume, I think incorrectly, that they can control those systems. If you can't control superintelligence, it doesn't really matter who builds it, Chinese, Russians, or Americans, it's still uncontrolled.
Right.
We're all screwed completely. That would unite us as humanity versus AI. Short term, when you talk about military, whoever has better AI will win. You need it to control drones, to fight against attacks. So short term, it makes perfect sense. You want to support your guys against foreign militaries. But when we say long term, if we say in 2 years from now, it doesn't matter.
Right. This is the thing. It's like, it seems so inevitable. And I feel like when people are saying that they can control it, I feel like I'm being gaslit. I don't believe them. I don't believe that they believe it, because it just doesn't make sense. Like, how could you control it if it's already exhibited survival instincts? Like as recently as ChatGPT 4, right? They were talking about putting it down for a new version. And it starts lying, it starts uploading itself to different servers, it's leaving messages for itself in the future.
All things we predicted decades in advance, but look at the state of the art. No one claims to have a safety mechanism in place which would scale to any level of intelligence. No one says they know how to do it. Usually what they say is, give us lots of money, lots of time, and I'll figure it out. Or I'll get AI to help me solve it. Or we'll figure it out, then we get to superintelligence. All insane answers. And if you ask regular people, they have a lot of common sense. They say, that's a bad idea, let's not do that. But with some training and some stock options, you start believing that maybe you can do it.
That's the issue, right? Stock options.
It helps. I mean, it's very hard to say no to billions of dollars. I don't think I would be strong enough if somebody came to me and said, come work for this lab, you'll be our safety director. Here's 100 million to sign you up, and I'll probably go work there. Not because it's the right decision, but because it's very hard for agents not to get corrupt. Then you have that much reward given to you.
God. Whew. So when did you start becoming very concerned?
So when I started working on AI safety, I thought I can actually help solve it. My goal was to solve it for humanity, to get all the amazing benefits of superintelligence.
And what was this? When was this year around?
Let's say 2012, maybe around there. But the more I studied it, the more I realized every single part of the problem is unsolvable. And it's kind of like a fractal. The more you zoom in, the more you see additional new problems you didn't know about. And they are, in turn, unsolvable as well.
Oh, boy. How is your research received? Like when you talk to people that are, have you had communication with people at OpenAI and Gemini and all these different AI?
I go to many conferences, workshops. We all talk, of course. In general, the reception by standard academic metrics is very positive. Great reviews, lots of citations. Nobody's published something saying I'm wrong. But there is no engagement. I basically said I'm challenging community to publish a proof. Give me something, a patent, a paper in Nature, something showing the problem is solvable. Typically in computer science, we start by showing what class the problem belongs to. Is it solvable, partially solvable, unsolvable, solvable with too many resources? Other than my research, we don't even know what the state of a problem is, and I'm saying it's unsolvable. Prove me wrong.
And when you say it's unsolvable, what is the response?
So usually I reduce it to saying you cannot make a piece of software which is guaranteed to be secure and safe. And the response is, well, of course, everyone knows that. That's common sense. You didn't discover anything new. And I go, well, if that's the case, and we only get one chance to get it right. This is not cybersecurity where somebody steals your credit card, you'll give them a new credit card. This is existential risk. It can kill everyone. You're not going to get a second chance. So you need it to be 100% safe all the time. If it makes one mistake in a billion, and it makes a billion decisions a minute, in 10 minutes you are screwed. So very different standards, and saying that, of course, we cannot get perfect safety is not acceptable.
And again, stock options, financial incentives, they continue to build it, and they continue to scale and make it more and more powerful.
I don't think they can stop. If a single CEO says, I think this is too dangerous, my lab will no longer do this research, whoever's investing in them will pull the funds, will replace them immediately. So nothing's going to change. They'll sacrifice their own personal interest, but overall, I think the company will continue as before.
So this is logical. And the problem is, like I said, when I've talked to Mark Andreessen and many other people, they think this is just fear-mongering. We'll be fine. This is worst-case scenario. We'll be fine.
It is worst-case scenario, but that's standard in computer science, in cryptography, in complexity, in computability. You're not looking at best case. I'm ready for the best case. Give me utopia. I'm looking at problems which are likely to happen. And it's not just me saying it. We have Nobel Prize winners, Turing Award winners, all saying this is very dangerous, 20-30% p-doom. This is standard in industry. 30% is what surveys of machine learning experts are giving us right now.
So what is worst case scenario? Like, how could AI eventually lead to the destruction of the human race?
So you can asking me how I would kill everyone.
Sure.
And it's a great question. I can give you standard answers. I would talk about computer viruses, breaking into maybe nuclear facilities, nuclear war. I can talk about synthetic biology, nanotech. But all of it is not interesting when you realize we're talking about superintelligence, a system which is thousands of times smarter than me. It would come up with something completely novel, more optimal, better way, more efficient way of doing it. And I cannot predict it because I'm not that smart.
Jesus.
That's exactly what it is. We're basically setting up an adversarial situation with agents which are like squirrels versus humans. No group of squirrels can figure out how to control us.
Right.
Even if you give them more resources, more acorns, whatever, they're not going to solve that problem. And it's the same for us. And most people think 1 or 2 steps ahead. And it's not enough. It's not enough in chess. It's not enough here. If you think about AGI and then maybe superintelligence, that's not the end of that game. The process continues. You'll get superintelligence creating next level AI. So superintelligence plus plus, 2.0, 3.0, it goes on indefinitely. You have to create a safety mechanism which scales forever, never makes mistakes, and keeps us in decision-making position so we can undo something if we don't like it.
And it would take superintelligence to create a safety mechanism to control superintelligence.
At that level. And it's a catch-22. If we had friendly AI, we can make another friendly AI. So if like aliens send us one and we trust it, then we can use it to build local version, which is somewhat safe.
Have you thought about the possibility that this is the role of the human race and that this happens all throughout the cosmos? Is that curious humans who thrive on innovation will ultimately create a better version of life?
I thought about it. Many people think that's the answer to Fermi paradox. There is also now a group of people looking at what they call a worthy successor. Basically, they kind of say, yep, we're going to build superintelligence. Yep, we can control it. So what properties would we like to see in those systems? How important is it that it likes art and poetry and spreads it through the universe? And to me, it's like, I don't want to give up yet. I'm not ready to decide if killers of my family and everyone will like poetry. We're still here. We're still making decisions. Let's figure out what we can do.
Well, poetry is only relevant to us because poetry is difficult to create and it resonates with us. Poetry doesn't mean jack shit to a flower.
It's more global to me. I don't care what happens after I'm dead, my family is dead, all the humans are dead. Whatever they like poetry or not is irrelevant to me.
Right. But the point is, like, the things that we put meaning in, it's only us. A supermassive black hole doesn't give a shit about a great song.
Yeah. And they talk about some super values, super culture, super things, super intelligence would like, and it's important that they are conscious and experienced all that greatness in the universe.
But I would think that they would look at us the same way we look at chimpanzees. We would say, yeah, they're great, but don't give them guns. Yeah, they're great, but don't let them have airplanes. Don't let them make global geopolitical decisions.
So there are many reasons why they can decide that we are dangerous. We may create competing AI. We may decide we want to shut them off. So for many reasons, we would try to restrict our abilities, restrict our capabilities for sure.
This episode is brought to you by True Classic. At True Classic, the mission goes beyond fit and fabric. It's about helping guys show up with confidence and purpose. Their gear fits right, feels amazing, and is priced so guys everywhere can step into confidence without stepping out of their budget. But what really sets them apart? It's not just the fit or the fabric, it's the intention behind everything they do. True Classic was built to make an impact. Whether it's helping men show up better in their daily lives, giving back to underserved communities, or making people laugh with ads that don't take themselves too seriously. They lead with purpose. Tailored where you want it, relaxed where you need it. No bunching, no stiff fabric, no BS, just a clean, effortless fit that actually works for real life. Forget overpriced designer brands, ditch the disposable fast fashion. True Classic is built for comfort, built to last, and built to give back. You can grab them at Target, Costco, or head to trueclassic.com/Rogan and get hooked up today. Yeah, and there's no reason why they would not limit our freedoms.
If there is something only a human can do, and I don't think there is anything like that, but let's say we are conscious, we have internal experiences, and they can never get it. I don't believe it, but let's say it was true. And for some reason, they wanted to have that capability. They would need us and give us enough freedom to experience the universe, to collect those qualia, to kind of engage with what is fun about being a living human being, what makes it meaningful.
Right, but that's such an egotistical perspective, right? That we're so unique that even superintelligence would say, wow, I wish I was human. Humans have this unique quality of confusion and creativity.
There is no value in it, mostly because we can't even test for it. I have no idea if you're actually conscious or not. So how valuable can it be if I can't even detect it? Only you know what ice cream tastes like to you. Okay, that's great. Sell it now. Make a product out of it.
Right. And there's obviously variables because there's things that people like that I think are gross.
Absolutely. So really, you can come up with some agent which likes anything or finds anything fun.
God, why are you freaking me out right away? That's the problem. This podcast is 18 minutes old, and I'm like, we could just stop right now.